Hi everybody, my name is Morgan Bagley, and today I'm going to be talking about math anxiety in schools and how it impacts our students. As a math teacher myself, it is something that I have already seen in my own classroom this first year teaching, and it's something that I'm really passionate about addressing. My goal with this presentation is not only to explain what math anxiety is, but also to share strategies that us as educators can use to help our students reduce their anxiety about math and to improve our students' confidence. So, what is math anxiety? Math anxiety is more than just not liking math. It's actually a feeling of fear, stress, or worry that comes over our students when they are asked to do math or complete math tasks. This can happen during tests, during classwork, or even just when called on in a math class. Research shows that this type of anxiety can start as early as elementary school, and it can follow students for years, even after graduation, if it's not addressed early on. So, why does math anxiety really matter to all educators? Math anxiety matters because math is a cumulative subject, meaning that students need that strong foundation to succeed as concepts kind of build over time. When students feel anxious, they are more likely to avoid practicing or engaging at all in class, which creates these gaps in their learning. And this doesn't affect just their grades, but also their confidence and their overall attitude towards school in general. Research has showed us that math anxiety is not just emotional, but also impacts how the brain works. For example, study shows that the anxiety interferes with the working memory, which students need to solve problems. This means that even students who understand material may struggle under pressure. It also shows that math anxiety can affect students at any ability level, not just those who are struggling academically. For barrier one, I chose negative mindsets. One major barrier is the negative mindset because many students come into class already believing that they are bad at math. They have had a negative experience in the past, like either failing a test or feeling embarrassed in a math class, and that shapes how they approach future learning, especially in that subject. When students expect to fail, they often give up too quickly or don't try at all. For barrier two, I chose classroom practices. Another barrier comes from classroom practices because things like time tests, focusing too much on speed, or comparing students publicly in front of the class can increase anxiety. Even sometimes unintentionally, teachers can create environments that make students feel pressured or fearful. Teacher attitudes also matter because if we present math as something that is difficult or only for certain students or certain types of students, that message can impact how students see themselves. The first two strategies that I chose to look at was a supportive environment and instructional changes. The first one way to address math anxiety is by creating that supportive classroom environment. This means that making rules about mistakes are normal and totally a part of learning are super important, and students should feel comfortable asking questions and trying different strategies. They should be open to risk. When we build a positive environment, students are more likely to take those risks and stay engaged. And then for strategy two, we can also just change how we teach. Instead of focusing on speed, we can focus on understanding. Giving students the time to think, using real-world examples, and offering different ways to solve problems can make math more meaningful to each person. These changes can help reduce the pressure and allow more students in our classrooms to succeed. The next two strategies I chose to look at were student support and collaboration. It's very important to support students directly. Teaching coping strategies like taking one moment to breathe or reflect before a test can help reduce their anxiety. One strategy from research is expressive writing, where students can write about their worries before a test because this helps clear their mind and improves their performance. Encouraging positive self-talk is also another simple but powerful tool to teach them, especially at a young age. And for my fourth strategy, collaboration is very effective. When students work together, they don't feel super isolated or pressured. They can learn from each other and feel more supported. Group work and discussions can make math feel less intimidating and more like a shared experience. Obviously, this always has a time and a place. You can't do everything with a group, but when possible, collaboration is great. So, the expected impact, if these strategies are implemented, we can totally expect to see positive changes. Students may participate more, show more confidence, and be more willing to attempt tougher problems. Over time, this can lead to improved academic performance as students feel more comfortable and engaged with math. This, of course, can also lead into their other classes as well. To implement these changes, teachers need to start small. This might mean adjusting one lesson at a time or trying one small new strategy each week. It's also important to gather our students' feedback through surveys or conversations to see what's working for them. What we always think is working might not always be the best strategy. Over time, these small changes can lead to a bigger shift in our classroom culture, and we can see a lot less math anxiety in our rooms. So, one challenge is that teachers may be hesitant to the change of their current practices, especially with the pressure that they give us in pacing guides and with standardized testing. But to address this, it's important to show that these strategies are supported by research and can actually improve student outcomes in the long term. Starting small and showing results can help build trust and buy-in from other educators. So this is kind of my key takeaway slide, and it's just 3 statements that I really liked. Math anxiety is not just a student problem. It's not just something that students bring into our classroom, but it's truly something that we can influence as educators. The second one is going along with that. It is something educators can influence and improve. And then lastly, small changes can make a big difference for our students. So just with making these small intentional changes to our teaching practices, we can create a more positive experience for our students and help them build confidence in math. These are the sources I use to support my research. They include studies on math anxiety, the effects of math anxiety, and some strategies for reducing it in the classroom. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you learned something about math anxiety. And if you're a math teacher, go improve some students' confidence by using some of these strategies. Thank you.